For almost all of human history, a 7-year-old could wander off alone for hours, carrying a knife, and nobody panicked. No school bell, no bedtime, no adult standing over them saying, "Be careful." And somehow, most of them turned out fine. Anthropologists who've spent time with groups like the Hadza in Tanzania or the Hung in southern Africa, some of the last people on Earth still living a mostly hunter-gatherer life, describe kids as young as 4 or 5 wandering off in mixed-age packs, unsupervised for most of the day. Nobody was drilling them on the alphabet. Instead, the older kids taught the younger ones. A 6-year-old might show a 4-year-old how to dig up a root. A 10-year-old shows the 6-year-old how to spot a snake track. Here's the part that trips people up. Play in these societies wasn't seen as separate from real life. A kid play fighting with a stick was practicing an actual future skill. A kid pretending to cook was learning to cook. There was no line between class time and playtime because there was no class time. Now, here's where it gets stranger. Some researchers who study this, like psychologist Peter Gray, argue that in these societies, adults almost never told children what to do. Not go to bed, not eat your vegetables, not say sorry. The adults just lived their lives, and the kids were expected to figure out how to join in. This wasn't neglect. These same anthropologists describe these communities as some of the most emotionally warm they've ever studied. Lots of physical affection, almost no yelling at kids, and almost no corporal punishment. The theory is, if a kid is never bossed around, they never need to rebel, so there's less conflict, not more. This is disputed, by the way. Some anthropologists argue these societies have been romanticized, and that the hands-off parenting picture is cleaner in the retelling than it was in reality. But the core observation, extremely low direct instruction, extremely high trust in kids, shows up again and again in the research. And it's not just ancient or remote cultures. Go back just 2 or 3 generations in the West, and the picture isn't that different. Up through the mid-20th century, it was completely normal for a 6-year-old in an American or British town to leave the house after breakfast and not come back until dinner. No phone to check in, no adult tracking them. The whole neighborhood was the classroom, and other kids were the teachers. Here's the detail that really lands. In some of these traditional societies, young children are given real tools, actual knives, actual machetes. Years before, a modern parent would even let their kid use safety scissors unsupervised. Not because the adults don't care if the kid gets hurt. It's the opposite. The reasoning is that a kid who's never allowed to handle something sharp never learns how to handle it safely. So when they eventually do get hurt, it's a minor cut, not a disaster, because they were already halfway competent. Protecting a kid from ever touching danger, in this view, just delays the accident and makes it bigger. Somewhere in the last 100 years, most of human childhood got moved indoors, seated, supervised, and scheduled. That's not automatically wrong. A lot of good has come from it, but it's worth noticing that for something like 300,000 years, kids became capable adults without a single worksheet, without a single timeout, and without anyone standing over them. Maybe the strangest thing about how we raise kids now isn't the screens or the schools. It's how new all of it actually is. If you like finding out how strange being human actually is, there's a new one of these every week.
Goodbye. See you later.